Welcome back to the Woman Experience, where we elevate, we experience, and we evolve, baby. I'm so glad you're here. Week on every week, I hope to be here so that we have a platform where we as women, we can learn from each other, we can inspire each other, we can be our sister's keeper. And if you know a woman who is on a journey of self-development, who would like to grow, let them know about the Woman Experience. So welcome back. Today, I want to talk about something that I have experienced as a woman. I know for sure, if you're listening to me, you have probably experienced this. I want to talk about the imposter syndrome. And I think we've all heard about it, but it is a real thing. And one thing I also love about this channel is I'm also calling myself out, because I know what it's like. But first, as I was thinking about this, I wanted to Google what imposter syndrome is, maybe what the experts say it is, and then we can talk a little bit about it. So I'm just reading from my phone. So what is imposter syndrome? It's when you doubt your own skills and successes, so you're actually qualified. You feel you're not as talented or worthy as others believe, and you're scared that one day people will realize that. Although it's not a mental health diagnosis, imposter syndrome can cause real harm in different areas of your life. You might also hear it's called imposter phenomenon, fraud syndrome, or imposter experience. And this is something that I have experienced in my life because, people have their degrees, they have their education experience, they have life experience. Like, most of the things that you want to pursue in your heart, you have what it takes. But there's that inner voice that comes in and you start doubting yourself. And why am I speaking about this? Because I have left so many opportunities at the table just because I felt I was not qualified. That inner critic, that inner voice. I have walked away from opportunities that would also have stretched me, that would have made me grow. Case in point, this YouTube channel, for the longest time, I think it's almost like 5 years now, until recently, I've always said I want to start a channel. I want to inspire women. I want to learn from other women. I want to form a community. But you keep postponing this idea. You keep, you don't even start because deep down, you're scared, wondering, do I have what it takes? Do I have the capability? Am I good enough? And it's a question that as women, we are constantly asking ourselves, and we see other people shining. We think they have what it takes, but we don't think we have what it takes. So this is a huge one. And I'm hoping that today we can talk a little bit about it, how to beat it, and how to start doing the things that you should. So now that I have explained what imposter syndrome is and how I've walked from so many opportunities, I also want you to think back at some of the things that you haven't pursued, some of the things that you're still scared to do, or things that, you've always told yourself you need to, you'll do them another day, next year, next month, and how much opportunity cost it, like what has it cost you in pursuing those opportunities. But first, I want to talk about some of the ways, at least for me, and I hope some of this resonates with you, yes, who's watching this, some of the ways that imposter syndrome manifests. Because I've been there, girl, I know, we are together in this. So number one is procrastination. You always have a reason for not starting that thing. Or I will do it when my career slows down. I will do it next week. I will do it next month when things are better. Or now the economy is not good for entrepreneurs, so I will not even start this business. Or, you have a million reasons and you're always procrastinating. And why this is so sad, at least in my case, is that time passes. So you spend your younger years hoping to either gain more experience or to learn this thing for you to start. Then you're suddenly in your 30s, and then you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and some people die never having pursued what it is that they want to pursue. So imposter syndrome is so real, and one of the ways it manifests is procrastination. The time is never right for you to do that thing. The circumstance is never right. The environment is never right. So you never do this thing, and you'll never know what it's like. You'll never learn. So that's one of the way it showed up for me. Like I said, for example, with this YouTube channel, I don't know, you want to watch other content creators, I don't know what it is, but you're always procrastinating and the time is never right. So that's one of the ways I think that imposter syndrome shows up. You keep postponing this thing that you want to do. Number 2, I want to laugh at this one because it is so huge. Over-analyzing and over-researching. Is there such a word? I don't know. You're constantly researching. So for example, if you want to be in business, you're constantly, I don't know, doing business plans. You're constantly, I don't know, watching other entrepreneurs. So you do this thing that is over-analyzing and over-researching because you know what they say, perfect is the enemy of the good. So you want to reach this level of perfection so that you start doing this thing. I was in a forum one day, and one of the things, a lady was calling out on the people, for example, who there's a trend that was there a while back where women would go in search of more certifications, masters, postgraduate degrees, and I have nothing against this. In fact, I am pro-education, but a lot of the things that women pursue before they feel ready is more education. And sometimes you can start whatever it is you want to do with where you are. Then with time, add on more education. So it becomes another way. You want the certifications, the research papers, you want that perfect business plan. I don't know, you want to visit an entrepreneur and you want them first to mentor you. All these things are okay, but first start, and then with time, the add-ons will come. Like with this YouTube channel, I do not even know how this algorithm works. My work is just to show up here every week, talk to you, and in the process of the next few weeks and months of shooting this, I'm going to understand YouTube. I'm going to have a feel at what it takes to actually build this thing. So stop over-researching, over-analyzing. If you don't have even people to support you, just take your phone and record. For you who is that business person, just start selling something, and we are going to talk about that. But please stop over-analyzing, over-researching, information overload that actually never translate into any of the actions that you're supposed to take. So if you're doing that, I'm calling you out on that. It's another form of imposter syndrome. Number 3, a huge one, seeking validation from people. We do this all the time. So you have this great idea, you have this thing that you want to pursue, and instead of going ahead to start building, what you are doing is seeking validation from people. So you tell your friends, people around you, your family, oh, by the way, I'm going to start this business. You wait. And what you want them to do is validate you, tell you your idea is great, rather than them helping you to build along as you're building. And a friend said this to me, and it resonated. She said, a lot of the times when people share their ideas, they want people to validate them. And what you should focus on is start building so that when you raise it with the village around you, with the community around you, they are going to help you build it. They are building from an idea that's already been built, that is already up and running. And I have done this so many times in the past where I'm just talking of this thing that I want to build, but I have not even started. I have not even, done the basics. And so what you're doing is you're seeking validation for people to clap for you, but nothing ever gets done. So if you're like me and you have fallen prey to this in the past, please stop. Stop seeking validation, because this is your dream, this is your thing, and we are all gifted differently. So imposter syndrome is you wanting that validation and you people telling, oh yeah, you're so qualified. Oh yeah, you know what? You know how to do this thing. Why aren't you not starting? So stop this constant validation that doesn't lead to action. The other thing I think that imposter syndrome manifests and you never get to anything is the fear of failure. And this is something that even now I'm battling with. We are constantly, all of us have failed at something. But this extreme fear of that you're not good enough and failing and what it will mean for you and those around you, it stops you from actually even starting. So it's another way that imposter syndrome manifests. So you're in constant fear. You do not want to deal with, what if I fail? The shame, what will people say? So this constant need for safety and not failing makes you not start the thing that you want to do, this dream that you hold so dear. So I'm hoping that in any of these 4 things that you see where your imposter syndrome comes in, what are you procrastinating on that you've never started? What have you overanalyzed and researched on, and you now have an overload information or notes, papers, credentials that have never seen the light of day, that only you and a few people know, and you've never seen your gift? Yeah, what is it that you're seeking validation from people and you've never really started? You just keep talking about it, but you've never really started. And why is this fear of failure so great, and why is it stopping you? So now we have an idea of the various forms in which imposter syndrome manifests. So how do you do it? I'm gonna talk about in my experience, because I love this channel, because I'm also calling myself out on a weekly basis on the things that have stopped me. This is not gonna be easy, and even if you do not take anything from this channel, this is the first way to beat imposter syndrome. Just start. And starting might look, it's so easy and it's so hard. It's so easy because with what you have right now, I guarantee you can start on that thing that you've always wanted to do. You want to do YouTube? One of the ways I think that has really helped me is that for any idea that you have, go to the basics of what that idea involves. For YouTube, you don't need to know algorithms. You don't need to know how to edit. All you need is a recording device. Shoot, press play. Forget. So even if I don't have people to help me or a team behind me, you can literally go today to your phone, record a 1-minute video and post it on YouTube. For a business, what are the basics? The basics is that you need a product or a service. You need to learn how to sell, find a client, whether you'll do it at a profit or a loss. Like, you can literally start today with what you have. Forget the hundreds of thousands of shillings you need. You just need to identify a service or a product, try and sell it, or try and get a client. See what you learn from that one experience. So just start and have a very childlike approach to it, with a lot of fun, a bit of play. You know, when you're recording that video, don't overthink it. When you're starting that business or selling that one clothing item, so what is it that you need to do? Just go to the basics. What is the basics of this thing that I need to do? If I need to travel the world, I just need, for example, to start with traveling one county in Kenya. And then the next time go to East Africa. So just start with the basic. What does travel involve? It is moving from point A to B. So stop making these grand difficulties in your head about the things you need to start. And then along the way, people will come, and have fun with it. So that's the main antidote to imposter syndrome. Every week I'm showing up here with all the inner critics in my head. I'm showing up with a lot of fear. I'm showing up with a lot of unknowns, but I'm showing up. We just press record and we play. I'm not going to overthink it. Number 2, there's a reason people say fake it till you make it. And I said, I'm not sure if I mentioned in the beginning of this video, someone told me that imposters do not have imposter syndrome. Let that sink in for a while. Imposters do not have imposter syndrome, meaning people who are imposters do not have imposter syndrome, because what have they realized? They show up, A1, game face on, they will sell you anything. They know as long as you have the confidence that when you fake it until you make it, you will become that thing. And so they just have mastered the mindset of becoming someone else. So fake it till you make it. You start selling that thing every single day, or being out there if you want to learn to become self-employed or an entrepreneur. You will make some losses, you'll make some gains, but fake it till you make it, right? I'm here shooting this video not because I am an expert YouTuber, but I'm gonna do this again and again and again until I feel like I belong. So there's no other way. So up your confidence, even when you don't feel like it, just fake it till you make it. So remember, we say just start. And then once you start, just own up. So what do YouTubers do? For example, in my case, they show up every week, every day, and post content. So you fake it till you make it. There's no other way. I wish there was an easier way to do this, to beat imposter syndrome, but you really have to just get onto another persona that is beyond you. It's like a model when they're walking down the runway. They have this thing that they do, they boost their confidence, and then once they hit the runway, they run. It doesn't matter how they're feeling inside. So girl, fake it till you make it. There is no other way. So we are faking it until we make it, and we are going to be on that runway, strutting with our heels non-stop until we get to the destination. Number 3, get some form of accountability. Now, remember, you've now just started. You are faking it until you make it. You're not sure. Get some form of accountability. One of the things that I'm realizing, especially in my journey, is when you pay attention. For me, when I put some monetary value behind anything I'm pursuing, it forces me to show up for that thing, right? For this entire setup, for me to come on here every week, I'm putting a bit of money behind it. And so for me, that's my incentive, and that's my form of accountability. I also have people behind the scenes that are like, Edith, when are we doing the next episode? That's another form of accountability. So figure out, what is it for you? For the other things that you're already accomplishing. And so what's the difference here? Are there people or are there mechanisms that make you accountable? For example, if you want to be in business and you buy stock worth a few thousand shillings, that's some form of accountability because you want to recoup your money back. At the very least, even if you break even or if you make a loss, you just at least want to recoup your money back. So that thing that you want to do, have some form of accountability that does not give you wiggle room to get out of. Because again, remember, you're beating the imposter syndrome. You're beating what you've always done, which is run away from the problem, run away from this thing that you want to pursue. So get some form of accountability that is foolproof. Sometimes it is friends who call us out on we are ladies here, so we don't use terms, but BS, you know what I mean. We need people who will tell us, you have talked about this thing for so long. Last year we met, you are still talking about starting this business. Next year I meet you, will be talking, can you do something? Or just don't tell people. So accountability is so huge. And whether it is in your career or whatever thing that you want to do, get people who are calling you out and are challenging you to start this thing. It is so hugely important. So you've started, you are faking it till you make it. You now have some form of accountability. The other thing that is so important, get comfortable with challenges and failure and critics. No one likes this. In fact, I am mentally prepared that in this journey, it's not going to be easy. People will have something to say. There are people who, depending on how they feel about this channel or me or whatever it is, or I myself as well, there are things I'm calling myself out on what can I do better. So challenges will come, critics will come, failure will come. There are things that we are going to do, we are not going to get it right. But I'm prepared. I want to prepare myself mentally because that's part of anything worth building. And for you, because this is so important for you, get comfortable with that. It should not be the thing that deters you. And by the way, I do not know anyone that has built anything worthwhile that hasn't failed. People are now openly talking about the challenges of building anything worthwhile. So get comfortable with that. And remember what I said, have like a childlike play. have a sense of play. If I fail, what am I learning? How can I make the next couple of videos better than how I started? So this is a constant form of growth, and I need to get comfortable with it so that you're moving ahead and you're not stagnating. And after you've gotten comfortable with that, I wanted to end with the most important thing. Remember the why. Because I should have started with this, but I want to end with this because this is so hugely important. Your vision is yours. It is God-given. It is your birthright. So remember with every journey why you started this. And this will perhaps help you beat imposter syndrome. I for sure know that God gave me this assignment, this legacy to connect with women, this legacy to impact women in some way, shape, or form. I just started, so I don't know, I cannot see the whole staircase, but the vision is that even if one woman listens to this channel and gets something out of it, that is my vision. Because the imposter syndrome makes you just see the difficulties. It doesn't make you see the vision, what God has given you, the gifts that you have. So go bigger, go back to the vision, go back to the why. So girl, I'm rooting for you. And when you're doing all of these things to beat imposter syndrome, the right people, the right opportunities, the right cheerleaders will come. In fact, you will be surprised because you don't have to see the whole stairway. I'm really rooting for you. Promise me you will begin. No more imposter syndrome. Just start with what you have now. Because I don't want you living with regrets, with talents and gifts that you've been given, with that dream God has put in your heart and you're not pursuing it. So we are not just doing things the same from now on. We are just starting, waking up, going. So let me know if you've learned anything. How has imposter syndrome shown up for you? How did you beat it for those who beat it? What is your journey like? And please share with another woman who might benefit from this. And I will see you next week on The Woman Experience. As always, share, subscribe, and I'll see you until next time. Bye-bye.